Welcome to Apex Philosophy, the perfect place to find motivation. Be sure to subscribe and listen every day so you can become your best self. Please like and share the video to help inspire others. Stress management strategies of the successful. What is stress? Did you know that too much stress can kill you? It won't cause immediate death, but rather, over time, it has the capacity to affect your overall health and even promote the growth of cancer cells. Sometimes, stress pushes people down the path of addiction as they search for ways to cope with it. Now that we know what it can do, we need to find a healthy way to manage it. But to strike through the problem, we first need to understand what it is. According to the World Health Organization, stress is defined as any type of change that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain. For example, you worked too much in front of your computer and you started having neck pains. Another example could be not being able to sleep because you're still thinking about your work. The World Health Organization emphasizes that stress is actually how your body speaks to you. It is telling you, hey, I need attention. Too much stress can lead to headaches or higher blood pressure. It can even lead to an upset stomach. Furthermore, too much stress can increase the risk of heart attacks. This is because stress can weaken your immune system, so it's important that we manage it properly. What causes stress? But what is the cause of stress? Is stress a positive or a negative response? Stress is actually a survival mechanism. Because your brain thinks that you are in danger, it tries to find a way to make it out of trouble as soon as possible. For example, your brain studying is working. Your brain then thinks, overworking will make me tired and weak, which will make me vulnerable and at risk of death. Despite this being an unconscious thought, it manifests as procrastination. Your brain doesn't want to do the work because it deems it as dangerous. And so it tries to distract you with TikTok and scrolling your social media. When you are stressed, your body puts all its efforts and its resources into getting you moving. More importantly, it's getting you away from that stressor. Glucose is being sent into the muscles. It now becomes your fuel. It biologically gets you up and running. Psychologists would deem this as the fight or flight response. However, this condition doesn't last long. This surge would eventually die down and would only last until your brain thinks that you are out of danger. Nonetheless, biological processes affect your overall well-being. That is why sometimes you have a fever caused by overfatigue. Stress will inevitably translate into a physical, often negative, response of your body. Can stress be your friend? Psychologist Kelly McGonigal admitted to the fact that most studies created by scientists show stress in a bad light. For years and years, we have treated stress as the enemy. But what if it can actually be our friend? Studies show that those who perceive stress to be harmful are more likely at risk of dying because of that belief. However, those participants who did not believe stress could be malevolent lived a better life. And so, can changing how you see stress make all the difference? In the social stress test cited by McGonigal, participants were made to be stressed out throughout the test. However, part of the population was taught that their responses to stress were helpful for their performance, and so they were less stressed about the overall results. But the most intriguing part is the fact that their physical stress response changed. Despite their hearts still pounding away, their blood vessels stayed relaxed. It was deemed as a healthier response by Harvard University. McGonigal emphasizes that within a lifetime of stressful experiences, this one simple change could make all the difference. When you're old and gray, you would have fewer chances of a heart attack. Because of this change, you might even reach your 90s. Make a habit of making stress your friend. Negative and positive stressors. The type of stress is defined by the effects it produces. Negative stressors are basically bad stress with bad effects. For example, your relationship with your parents is currently strained. No matter how you ignore that fact, this stress will manifest with you not being able to concentrate. Another example could be the passing away of a loved one. Although you can deny this grief or think that you have moved on, it's as if there's a hole that cannot be filled anymore. These are some examples of negative stress. Positive stressors help us to grow by pushing us out of our comfort zones. For example, say you wanted to learn what it feels like to go skydiving. You may have a fear of heights, but this new experience has brought a revitalization to your life. Another example could be going up on the stage and practicing your public speaking skills. Although that little shake of your hand is apparent, still you continue to face this fear. From then on, you learned that it wasn't so bad. All you needed was to push through. So again, as much as possible, choose the positive stressors over the negative ones. So how do you manage stress? Here are 5 tips on how to manage stress. The first is to channel that shot of energy into something physical and productive. Find and do a simple routine task. For example, you can clean the windows or wash the dishes. You can even do some gardening. When you devote your focus to tasks within your control, it helps you calm down because not much thinking is needed. You can even consider alternative solutions to your problems while you wash your clothes. Or you can listen to your favorite podcasts or tune into an audiobook. This helps you declutter your mind because the activity helps redirect your mind to the task at hand. You're stressed, but on the upside you will have a clean house. My mother is like this. When she's stressed, she always uses the opportunity to clean the house. Although you'll hear the dishes being cleaned so loud like a sign of protest, it's still a very efficient and effective way to process stress. I think I may have picked it up on her, but it sure is handy. Now all I do when I'm stressed is clean my workspace. But did you know that a clean environment also helps calm down? Our brain always gathers data whether we like it or not. And right now, the clutter on your desk or on your bed is being digested by your brain. Sometimes this is also why you can't concentrate properly. A messy environment could contribute more to the root stress, so channeling your stress to cleaning is a win-win. Number 2, take a bath or a shower. Taking baths may be the best thing you can do when you're stressed. Some people believe it's a natural wonder how well water heals. Studies conducted by Richard Koss, a professor emeritus of psychology at UC Davis, and Craig Keller found that looking at bodies of water can help lower your heart rate. It increases your feeling of relaxation. And so, running water from your shower can do great things. There are also benefits to having warm baths versus cold ones. Take a warm bath to relax and take a cold shower if you want to wake up your brain and concentrate on a task. I remember my professor telling me that she would always take a cold shower before taking her exams. I guess this worked well since she has the best degree and the best job. I also recall a friend telling me that each person should have self-care time at least once a week. I agree. We should devote at least a day to ourselves within the week. Otherwise, we would feel overwhelmed with our work and daily routines. It's also best to pair it with a warm bath. Some people like to pair it with bath bombs and essential oils. If you have a lover, it's also great to have a relaxing time with them. The third tip is meditation. You've probably heard about this a lot on this channel, but meditation is highly beneficial, and too few people practice it. And please don't say that you don't have the time, because all it takes is 5 minutes a day. You have 24 hours, you might at least spare some for it. Additionally, meditation is filled with versatility. It can be used to calm you down when you're stressed. It can be used to concentrate before doing a task. It can be used for manifestations and goal setting. Meditation is enjoyable silence. It helps you be in tune with your whole body and mind and helps you reset. Imagine a computer restarting. It becomes refreshed and functions properly. The same benefits come to you with meditation. The fourth tip is to lie on your back. Yes, you simply need to lie down. This helps you take the time to relax. If you want, you can also add some comfy pillows. Sometimes working in front of a computer could cause lots of back pain. It's best to put a pillow in the area where it hurts so you can stretch the muscles while you rest. And speaking of rest, getting the proper amount of sleep is vital to your brain's function and ability to deal with stress. Don't even question it. Just sleep. Sometimes your brain gets too tired. What's the point in trying to work on something when you can't even concentrate? Sometimes there are just those times wherein no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to solve it. You can't seem to find the solution. So you spend hours and hours working on it. But you should sleep instead. After sleeping for a bit, your brain will have had time to process your day, and you'll wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle that stressor. The last tip is to attack the stressor. Sometimes what we are stressed about has elements within our control. For example, maybe you feel overwhelmed by how much work you have to do. Take some time to review, prioritize, and schedule your workload. This will help you to stop worrying about having it all done at once. It will allow you to focus your attention on the things that need done first. Another example could be having a test or exam coming up. Stop stressing about it and study. That stress is a good thing. It is telling you that you are not prepared and that you need to study more, so go do it. Use that stress to push you and drive you towards success. The pre-mortem. The last thing we want to take up today is a bonus tip from Daniel Levitin. There is a way to stay calm while being under immense amounts of stress. As humans, we have control over some things, but there are also things that we cannot control. So sometimes stress is something that can be avoided. For example, we cannot choose what the weather would be like today, but we can decide to bring an umbrella. Levitin tells us that we should put the systems into place to prevent a stressor or reduce its effect on us. We need to prevent bad things from happening as much as possible by being prepared. If we cannot prevent them, we should at least make the effort to minimize the chances of them ending up in a catastrophe. He calls this prospective hindsight. Psychologist Gary Klein had a similar idea and called it the pre-mortem. Pre-mortem means prior to death. And so the process involves you looking ahead and trying to figure out all the things that could go wrong. For example, what would happen if you lost the car keys? It would make you late for work while you try to find them. So create a system that prevents you from losing them. For example, you can hang the car keys in a spot wherein it's easily accessible when you go in and out. You can hang it on a hook or put it in a drawer near the door. Either way, what matters is that you establish this system wherein you know that such an object is always going to be there. Then you could also create a system for finding them when they aren't in their designated spot. Maybe a GPS keychain or something. This would save you lots of stress in the future. We can apply this to all aspects of our life. Being prepared for the things that could go wrong will greatly reduce your daily stressors. In addition, when you decide on something, don't just do it on the spot. Take the time to project what could happen and discuss it with someone before making the final decision. Sometimes we are just swayed by the pressure of the moment, but this should not be the case. Remember, when an individual is under stress, they're not thinking clearly. Take the time to think about the things that might stress you out. Find ways to prevent them. Stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. You can use it for your benefit by channeling it into being productive, or using it to push you towards success. Managing stress is about controlling your thoughts. Meditate to help pull your mind away from your worries and onto things you can control. Take the time to plan. Take the time to think through potential pitfalls and create systems to prevent them or make them more manageable. And finally, take the time to relax and get the proper amount of sleep. Take care of yourself. Thank you for listening. Comment below. Tell us what you are stressed out about and what you plan to do about it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.